Mina Isasus Maisise and today Sierra Network Canada Ministry of Health and Sanitation concerning the press briefing where the Ministry of Health and Sanitation call where they go inside the conference room now, outside the briefing they take place.
This is an official statement of the government of Sierra Leone after interministerial consultation with regards to traveling guidelines in response to the coronavirus that is now being described as pandemic by WHO. And I read, based on current epidemiological evidence of COVID-19, this is continuously spreading to and within several countries. Currently, more than 117 countries have been affected, with over 124,000 cases and 4,600 deaths. In adherence to the implementation of the international health regulations, the Ministry of Health and Sanitation has activated the Emergency Operations Center at Level 2 to coordinate the emergency preparedness and response activities with the goal of preventing importation of cases and mounting a robust response whenever necessary. The Interministerial Committee meeting conducted today, 13th March 2020, resolved that we inform the general public, diplomatic missions, and all ministries, departments, and agencies about the following additional precautionary measures. 1. All citizens, residents, and residents in Sierra Leone are strongly advised to postpone intended travel to any country, more so those that have reported confirmed cases. This is so until the outbreak is halted. If, however, you consider this to be absolutely necessary for you to travel, then it is hoped that you adhere to all necessary precautionary measures instituted, 1, by the travel means, and 2, by the host country as well. Travelers arriving at any point of entry in Sierra Leone with any of the following signs and symptoms will be immediately taken into isolation facility for investigation and management. The signs and symptoms would include fever above 37.5 degrees centigrade, persistent cough, and difficult breathing. Further, travelers from countries with less than 50 confirmed cases will be documented and followed up by designated surveillance officers and contact tracers at home for a period of 14 days to ensure compliance with surveillance procedures. But those travelers arriving at any point of entry in Sierra Leone from countries with 50 or more confirmed cases of COVID-19 at any point in time will have to undergo either of the two quarantine methods. A, those from embassies, missions, and organizations that have identified isolation facility, which is going to be verified by the Ministry of Health and Sanitation, will be taken to those facilities to be quarantined for a period of 14 days. Embassies, missions, and organizations who opt for this method will be responsible for the safe transportation from the point of entry to the isolated facility. And those embassies, mission, or organizations should provide the names and expected dates of arrival of these travelers at least 3 days before arrival, and will be responsible for all expenses incurred during the quarantine process. If they require further information, they should contact the Director of Health Security and Emergencies, Dr. Vandy, on the number 076 657703. The other mode is that all other persons will be taken to a mandatory quarantine facility managed by the Ministry of Health and Sanitation and observed for a period of 14 days. What we're saying is that either through the embassy mode or that managed by the ministry, it will still be a quarantine procedure for 14 days. We strongly recommend that individuals intending to visit Sierra Leone from countries with 200 or more confirmed cases of COVID-19 should consider deferring their visits during this critical period. There is no ban, but we encourage you strongly to stay home and not to come at this period of time. However, if they have very critical or essential functions to perform in the country, they may visit, but will still be quarantined for 14 days as requested. Because of the porosity of our borders and the several entry points, all passengers who arrive with laissez-passer or emergency travel certificates or ID cards will be immediately taken to the isolation facility for secondary screening. If there is any suspicion of an illegal attempt to undermine the process, such a visitor will be kept in the designated quarantine facility for 14 days. This advisory travel note will come into effect on Monday, 16th of March 2020, until further notice. This is signed by the Chief Medical Officer and the Minister of Health and Sanitation. I thank you.
Okay, we have had the statement by the Honorable Minister, and then we are going to have another statement from the Chief Medical Officer regarding an advisory for Sierra Leoneans in general. In country. So, over to you.
Honorable Minister of Health and Sanitation, Honorable Deputy Minister of Health and Sanitation, colleagues within the Ministry of Health and Sanitation, colleagues from the Fourth Estate, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I now have the pleasure of reading this coronavirus COVID-19 advisory for residents in Sierra Leone, dated Freetown, 13th March 2020. The Minister of Health and Sanitation is concerned about the increasing spread of the novel coronavirus COVID-19 in countries around the world, including West Africa. At the moment, about 117 countries and territories have been affected, with over 124,000 cases and more than 4,600 deaths. In compliance with the International Health Regulation (IHR), the Ministry of Health and Sanitation has activated the Emergency Operations Center (EOC) at Level 2 to coordinate the emergency preparedness and response activities with the goal of preventing importation of cases and mounting a robust response whenever necessary. All individuals are strongly advised to postpone intended travel to any country which has reported confirmed cases of the coronavirus until the outbreak is halted. For those who cannot postpone intended travel and or have returned from travel, we urge you to observe all necessary precautionary measures instituted by the means of travel in the host country. In the interest of safety for your families and communities, the following measures are strongly advised. Those who have the following signs and symptoms of fever, cough, sneezing, shortness of breath are strongly advised to stay at home and call 117 immediately. Practice good hygiene. Stop handshaking. Use other non-contact methods of greeting. Wash hands at regular intervals with soap and water or hand sanitizer. Create habits and reminders to avoid touching your face and cover your mouth and nose when coughing or sneezing. Disinfect surfaces like doorknobs, tables, desks, and handrails regularly. Increase ventilation by opening windows or adjusting air conditioning. Consider rescheduling large activities or gatherings. Consider adjusting or postponing community gatherings. Adjust community arrangements to avoid mixing large crowds. When possible, hold meetings and gatherings outdoors or in open, well-ventilated spaces. Food hygiene. Avoid eating together in the same bowl with others. Strengthen health screening for food handlers and their close contacts. Ensure food handlers or dealers and their close contacts practice strict hygiene. With the current trend of the outbreak, we should remain extra vigilant. The following precautions are also advised. If you feel sick, stay at home and call 117 if you have the symptoms that have been mentioned above. We are working around the clock to strengthen our capacity to manage any case that may occur. At the moment, we have the full capacity to test and confirm coronavirus at 3 separate facilities in the country. We are also working closely with the World Health Organization, Center for Disease Control of the US, and other partners to prepare and respond to the outbreak of the virus. At the moment, we have set up the 34 military hospital, the Sierra Leone China Friendship Hospital, the Lunge Government Hospital, and the Gambia Government Hospital as designated sites for treatment of COVID-19 if the need arises. Please listen to advice from health authorities. I thank you for your attention.
The Minister of Health and Sanitation, Dr. Alpha Tiwuri, talk about the precautionary measure where the ministry don't put in place as they continue for prevent people na the country and also the one them where they come inside the country may they not go get affected with the coronavirus. May we carry this program to na today. May your name na Aissatou Smaisisi. Until we meet again, I say tata.